Welcome to the first ever Fail of the Week, a segment where I make a judgment of who's flopped the hardest over the past week, and then make a video humorously slating the said individual or persons in a way which captures the epicness of their failure. As you can see from the title, Paul Pogba and Jose Mourinho are the topic of discussion, but I'm going to talk about two runners up first, so if you are here for Pogba and Mourinho only, click where it says skip 2. One team that flopped spectacularly hard this week was Celtic. I don't care who you're playing. Losing 7-0 is unacceptable. Now the gap between the two teams in terms of talent and wealth might be bigger than Billy Mitchell's forehead, but Alaves, who made the financial gap between Celtic and Barcelona look tiny, managed to beat Barcelona just about a week ago. That said, once you take into account the attack-minded manager in charge of Celtic, even Fetty Wap could have seen a thrashing coming. An even bigger fail was Sevilla. Now for those of you who don't watch La Liga, I'm telling you, make an effort to watch Sevilla this season, because under manager Jorge Sampaoli, there will be a source of much entertainment. Against Eibar, however, they were just downright hilarious. They took an undeserved lead against Eibar, and then the La Liga minnows were reduced to 10 men when their second choice goalkeeper was sent off when it should have been a yellow card. Now, with the attacking talent of Sevilla, who are also the 3-time reigning champions of the Europa League, you'd expect them to batter Eibar at this point. Instead, true to their chaotic nature, they allowed Eibar to get an equaliser. In fact, even when Eibar were reduced to 9 men, Sevilla still couldn't get a winner. Now, ever since the days of Dani Alves, Luis Fabiano and Freddy Canute, I've always liked Sevilla. But watching this was like watching your friend getting deservedly beaten up by the slow kid everyone used to bully. I didn't know whether to cringe in despair or laugh my head off. Funny thing is, this result came days after they got an away draw against one of the best sides in Europe, Juventus. And that's why they avoid failure of the week. Now for what you came for. As grime aficionados may have realised by now, the name of this instrumental is Hype, and no player or manager in the world is as hype as Paul Pogba or Jose Mourinho. Did Manchester United really just spend 145 million to lose 3 times in the space of 1 week? Now, I've brought up the genre of grime for a reason. Stormzy dropped a blatant Adidas marketing scheme with a track to appeal to the streets. It was cringy, but the kids loved it and it created a buzz I hadn't seen since Cristiano Ronaldo and Kaká joined Real Madrid. As someone who watches Serie A, I saw through it. I know Pogba to be a well-rounded and skillful player who is ultimately unfocused and a tactical mess. If you saw Carragher's analysis of Pogba, you will know exactly what I mean. I made a video going into detail about this when the transfer was made. I'll provide a link in the description for you. Essentially, Pogba is unable to tap into his undoubted potential at will and often underwhelms. Pogba was one of the very few players who played every single minute of the 3 losses, and his performances have ranged from anonymous to trying too hard to abysmal versus Watford. The whole situation is just funny to me because we've gone from Jim White and the rest of the Sky Sports crew giving themselves heart attacks trying to announce Pogba's world record transfer, to fans offering the worst excuses I've seen trying to defend the player since Arsenal and Mesut Ozil. One of the excuses is that Pogba needs time to settle, and if you're to take a human approach with this, then I totally get that. But looking at the preceding world's most expensive players, from Alan Shearer onwards, then really only 3 have struggled. Kaká was riddled with injuries, which derailed his entire career, so really it's unfair to include him. Gareth Bale also struggled with injuries, but he managed to overcome them. So really, considering Pogba hasn't been injured so far, the only player Pogba has anything in common with is Denilson. And injuries didn't affect Denilson either. He was just a flashy player with no sense of tactical acumen. That leads me to the second excuse made for Pogba. He cannot play in the midfield too. And you know what? That's true. Pogba isn't defensively aware enough to be a holding midfielder, and he cannot dictate the game too. The only position he can play in central midfield is the advanced role in a free. But let's not act as though if he played there, it would magically transform his game, turning him into a 20 goals a season player like Frank Lampard or Steven Gerrard. The most Pogba's ever managed in the league season is 8, and that includes penalties which he won't get at United. Epic fail. Mourinho, you're catching this L too for the weird teams you keep on picking. I originally had United down as favourites to win the title because I thought Mourinho had brought the best talent from abroad and it seemed as though he knew where to fit them in. Boy, was I wrong. Mourinho's more confused than a chicken in a pillow factory. After saying Rooney wouldn't play in midfield, he's now playing Rooney in midfield. I thought this would be the team, but he got out of his way to revitalise Morgan Schneiderlin and use him as a defensive mid. He has everything Mourinho asks for: height, work rate and aggression. And Herrera will be the playmaker, and that would have freed up Pogba to be the engine to lift the midfield to the attack, which would have consisted of Martial and Mkhitaryan, whose pace and skill would have created chances for Ibrahimovic to put them away like he is right now, to be honest. As for Wayne Rooney, I honestly thought Mourinho would have been big enough to drop him like he did with Iker Casillas and Raul, who are far bigger legends for Real than Rooney is for Manchester United, especially considering how he tried to move to Man City at one point. Obviously Mourinho knows his team better than anyone else, but right now he's not making any sense. Is it making sense to anyone? Please let me know. If he is, I'd love to have a debate with you in the comment section. Also, let me know if anyone else should have been fail of the week. Until the next video, make sure you follow me on these social media sites and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.